So to break it all down, it is time to go Vinside Out with Vince Mercogliano, Rangers writer for USA Today and LoHud.com. Vince, the news of Laviolette's dismissal comes less than 48 hours after the Rangers season ended. Were you surprised how quickly Chris Drury acted in this situation?
Not really, Nikki. If I'm being honest with you, it wouldn't have surprised me if it happened on Friday. The writing had been on the wall for this with weeks, really, I would say, if not months. You can go back to November, December, when the season really started spiraling out of control for the Rangers. You knew if they missed the playoffs, somebody was going to have to pay for it. And I have been hearing for a long time now that despite all the turmoil around the Rangers this season, despite some of the behind the scenes drama and the cultural issues and the roster construction issues, that Chris Drury remains, for the most part, I think, in the good graces of owner James Dolan, and that he was going to remain in place. So if Drury wasn't going to pay the price, that meant that Laviolette likely would. And again, it's something I've been hearing for a long time, so it certainly did not come as a surprise. I think we could debate who's at fault. There's certainly multiple people I think you could name when you're having that conversation. Obviously, the boost that Laviolette gave them last year when they won the President's Trophy, it seemed to completely vanish this year, and they really had no solutions when things started spiraling out of control. So he shoulders some of the blame for sure. But I certainly don't think he's the only one. Ultimately, he was just the one that was easiest, I think, to target.
Yeah, so Rangers going for a clean slate here. They're not new to finding new head coaches. Who are some of the leading candidates that you've heard to become their next head coach?
The guy that I believe that Drury is targeting number one on his list is not technically available. That would be Mike Sullivan, the two-time Stanley Cup winning coach from the Pittsburgh Penguins. He has 2 years remaining on his deal with Pittsburgh and said to the media in Pittsburgh on Friday that he plans on continuing to coach the Penguins. Now, I've heard that there could be some wiggle room there. I know the Rangers very much are waiting to find out if there is any chance of prying him away, because I do believe that Drury thinks highly of Sullivan. They have connections through USA Hockey, and obviously he's a very accomplished coach in the league. I do believe that Drury would prefer somebody with experience, although he did say today that a first-timer isn't out of the question. A couple other names I would throw at you if Sullivan does not work out. Rick Tocchet is currently the coach for the Vancouver Canucks, but his contract is expired, and he was one of the finalists back in 2021 when the Rangers hired Gerard Gallant. So if Tocchet were to come available, I believe the Rangers would have a conversation with him. David Carle is the two-time national champion coach for the University of Denver. Now, he's a hot commodity in the league right now. I think a lot of teams would like to talk to him. I've heard the Rangers will reach out, but I've also heard that he's got a lot of bargaining power right now and might not be thrilled with the situation in New York. So I'm not sure how much interest there is on his part. And the last name I would throw at you, a familiar one for Blue Shirts fans, John Tortorella. Now, I'm not sure what Drury feels on this, if I'm being totally honest, but I do know that there are people in the organization who still like Torts, and he wants to continue coaching from everything that I'm hearing. So he's a name that multiple people have said to me, do not be surprised if he ends up getting an interview and ends up pushing his way into the mix.
All right, Vince, quickly, how long can we expect this search to take?
I have a feeling it could drag out for a while. I think Drury is going to want to wait to see how the situation plays out in Pittsburgh, among other places. Who knows who could end up getting fired if they have an early playoff exit or something along those lines. So we've seen this a couple times now. I think Drury is going to be thorough, and I think he's going to be patient to wait and make sure he can turn over every rock possible.